How do we define success? We're in violation of every code conceived. This is great. Congratulations. It's wonderful to see you. Before I forget, I want you to know something very special. I just got a letter, the Public Official of the Year by the American Medical Association is none other than Secretary Mary Selecki. Wonderful to have her recognized, but admittedly, if you're not careful, she will get you in trouble. I just want to make that statement to you. She's gotten me in a boatload of trouble, but at the end, she's the greatest Secretary of Health in America. Thank you very much. You know, seeing you and feeling the enthusiasm, I don't know if you guys have heard of this group called the Tea Party. Well, so what if we form the wine party and we form... You know, that sounded great that we storm the Capitol, except that's where I am, so that's not a very good idea. We could find someplace else we could go. We'll storm the Justice, Department of Justice, right? It is very fun to have you here. About a week ago, what am I doing wrong? About a week ago, give that lady another glass of wine. About a week ago, Secretary of State had a celebration for the first, a number of you were there, women who in the state of Washington served as first. And there were some amazing stories. First legislators way back in, how long ago was it? 1912. How cool is that? I was honored to be there as the first woman Attorney General for the state of Washington. But what was really nice was to recognize the Washington State at one point was first in the United States in the number of female legislators. And while we're not first anymore, I want to be quick to say, and we have them here, our women who are serving over there are in absolute leadership positions in every major committee in the legislature. And you cannot take history away from the state of Washington, first in the country and thus far only one to have 2 women U.S. senators and a woman governor. You know, sometimes when you're like me, you go out and you think everybody recognizes you, and more often than not they do. They'll walk by as if I can't hear and say, you know, that was the governor, that's her name is, you know, whatever. So my daughter and I go shopping at Nordstrom's in Seattle. We're looking for jewelry for my state address. And this woman behind the counter is helping us out and so on and so forth. And then she says, well, is this for a special occasion? And I go, yes. And she says, well, can you share it with me? And I said, well, do you know what I do for a living? And she says, no. So I say to her, well, you know, have you ever heard of the state of the state address? No. Well, have you heard of the State of the Union? Yes. Well, it's our counterpart to that, and I've actually been asked to speak. So she sits there and says, I think that's wonderful. They've asked you to speak. So I said, so what do you say about the jewelry and so on? And so we got all through with that. Last week, I get a letter. She asked, will it be on television? I said, yeah, it might be on television. You might be able to check it out. It might be even in, you know, the Seattle Times, you know. So she writes a letter, Dear Governor, I figured out who you are. Will you please come back so I can do some more? I had a good friend of mine who served as Attorney General with me, Janet Napolitano, who's the head of Homeland Security, absolutely marvelous individual. She came to visit and have a little downtime with me this summer, and she had quite a number of Secret Service wives, okay? And so as she arrived here to stay overnight, we decided we would go up and we'd go hiking up Paradise at Mount Rainier. And I said, are all those people going to come? She said, I'm afraid so. And I said, are they all going to wear those dark suits with those sweatshirts, those things in their ears that look like that? She said, okay, I'll text them and tell them that they should dress appropriately. So they come. And we go up, and of course, when we arrive right in front of the visitor center. Now, wouldn't you think we could park our cars in the place where everybody parks? No, we have to park in the no parking zone right in front of the visitor center. 5 or 6 cars loaded with these Secret Service people. Everybody's coming out of the visitor center. There's everybody getting out of the cars, and they keep saying, I wonder who it is, I wonder who it is. Janet gets out, I wonder who it is, I wonder who it is. I get out, oh, it's the governor. I'm like, oh my God, they think this entourage is mine. So I thought, dear editor, Gregoire is spending too much tax money with too many people walking around. So we go up, we're walking around, taking our hike up Paradise, and 8 to 10 times people would walk by. And sure enough, I could hear them, that was the governor. So back they come, Governor, can I have a photo? And I would say, of course, that would be great. They give the camera to Janet. Ma'am, could you take our picture? Janet the Great said, sure. I'm looking at the Secret Service there. And then I'd say, this is my friend Janet. She's from Arizona. We got back, got away, not a soul recognized Janet the whole trip. So I thought that was very interesting. Anyway, just wanted to share a couple fun stories, just in case people think they know me or whatever. We are, as you all know, I don't need to tell you, we're in the toughest time in 80 years. My fellow legislators that are here, folks, they have got the toughest job of any legislators in the history of the state of Washington, save the Depression. Looking in that budget deficit is formidable. But I tell you, I did my duty as required by law to give a no new revenue, all cuts tax budget in December. I firmly believe it does not represent the values of the people of the state of Washington, and if that is our budget, it is unjust, it is unwise, and it is unfair, particularly to children and those who are in need across this state. Of all the times, we need the safety net, it's now. We've got 1 in 13 Washingtonians on food stamps, almost half of them are kids. We can't afford to say we're not going to be there in the toughest time in history when they need that social service net of ours. And as I look at that all-cuts budget, when I say goodbye to all-day kindergarten, I say goodbye to preschool for 3rd graders, I say goodbye to higher education to those who otherwise can't afford it, to hospice care, to care for at-risk moms, 50,000 of them for maternity care. When I say goodbye to children's health care, when I say goodbye to adult health care, I just can't believe that we would do this in this state. So we're fighting every day to find a way to get there. Because at the end of the day, a budget represents the values of the people of the state of Washington. So as tough as the task is, I am blessed as governor to have the associations with the legislators that you see here and those who couldn't come tonight. They share those values. They share those values with you. So when we get through this deep, deep recession, and we will, we have to come out of this with our absolute values intact. We have to be ready to know those kids are going to have a bright and great future. We need to be united as a family. Now more than ever, we must be a community. We must be a value-ridden family, because you know what? We did lose our way. We can't blame it all on Wall Street. Their trickery and all that garbage we let happen in part. We got so absorbed on material things that we lost that we have a responsibility to help our fellow Washingtonian and our fellow American and the people who might need us across the world, like those in Haiti right now. That's what America stands for. But even more than America, that's what Washington State stands for. So I stand with my fellow legislators who are here tonight to say we're in a partnership, we're going to get through this recession, we're going to get our values through, we're going to show we're a community, we're united as a family. That's the spirit of Washington State. That's what makes this state great. Thank you all for coming tonight.